It's time to make some money. So let's first recap week 4 since we weren't here last week. I was down in Myrtle Beach playing in the Baseball World Series, so I did not do a show last week. However, I did go 3-3 for the record on my own picks. Missed BYU just barely, and to be honest, Georgia was close there too, but it is what it is, 3-3. Week 4 did really well. I need to swap this to a loss. I probably went to bed on that one, but we got Oklahoma, Washington, Mississippi State, Michigan, Kansas, LSU first half, Florida State, Western Kentucky, Syracuse over Clemson, Oklahoma, Auburn under, and Miami. And then we missed Oregon, Missouri, Illinois, Purdue, Cal. That was the weirdest game of the year, was Cal and San Diego State. The Iron Skillet over. That was also weird. That always goes over. It's the first year I've ever seen it go under. Tulane, Arkansas, and Oklahoma State. So we, in the wallet, went 11-9, but we went plus 30, almost $31. On the show, we did even better. We got Iowa, we got Texas Tech, we got South Florida, Florida State, Michigan, Oklahoma, Mississippi State, which was a best bet with Oklahoma. Marshall, Western Kentucky, Washington as a best bet, Miami as a best bet, Vanderbilt, Virginia, and LSU. We missed Illinois, Southern Miss, Missouri, Purdue, Tulane, the under with Nebraska, and Michigan, and then the Arkansas blunder, and then the Iron Skillet over. So we went on the show 15-5, I think. No, it wasn't 55. It was 14-8, but 4-0 on best bets, y'all. So that brought our record for best bets above 50% now. But on the show so far, 50-31 against the spread. You're not going to find anybody on YouTube that's giving you that. Good luck. Usually you have to pay for that service, but I do it here for free. So week 5 didn't do it, so we were 3-3 there. So let's jump in to week 6. Let's see what we got. Tonight, we got Sam Houston State, New Mexico State. I don't have anything on this game. I probably would have a small lean to the over, 52.5, but I'm not touching it at all. I would lean the over because both defenses are really bad. So that leads to an over, but good luck. I mean, I would stay away from that completely. Charlotte, South Florida, I kind of would like this at 27.5, but Charlotte is really bad, and South Florida is one of the better power group of 5 teams. And now that the Arkansas job is open, you got to think that South Florida coach is probably going to be interviewing via doing well for the rest of the season, if you know what I mean, because maybe he wants that job. So I could see South Florida dominating this game. I would be on the Bulls there. West Kentucky, Delaware, kind of weird how Delaware's favored here. I like Maverick MacGyver at quarterback with Western Kentucky. They've been doing well this year. I was surprised to see them as an underdog. This was 3.5. I don't know if you can get a better number anymore. Now it's 2.5 at both places now. So I would still be on the Hilltoppers here, but the 3.5 was the best play. I might have put that on the best bet board if we were to get the 3.5, but it's not there anymore. So I'd still would lean with the Hilltoppers though, just to maybe either win the game or keep it close. It's gonna be a shootout. Small lean in New Mexico here. San Jose State coming off an emotional loss to Stanford. That was their Super Bowl. And New Mexico's not too bad this year. So small lean in New Mexico, but I'm definitely staying away from that game. All right, now we got one of our first best plays of the night. And I never, ever would have thought I'd be playing this fight song in one of our shows as a best bet. But here it goes. Here it goes. Do you even know what fight song this is? That would be the San Diego State Aztecs. Look, this is one of those teams that came out of nowhere. They beat Cal by 30. They really have only played bad once this year. So they're 3-1. They're doing well. Colorado State's 1-3. Colorado State's been somewhat competitive in their losses. Both teams played Washington State and both lost. I just think San Diego State has more confidence right now, and they're at home. I mean, if they can beat an ACC team by 30, you think they can beat a Mountain West bottom feeder or mid-tier Mountain West team by a touchdown. So give me the Aztecs minus 5.5. That's your first best bet of the day. Now, that is probably my least confident out of the group, but it's on the board. Oh, and right next to it, we got 2 Friday best bet plays. I got another one here. I think if West Virginia goes 1-11 this year, and that one win was the backyard brawl, they're going to be fine with that because they won the backyard brawl. But they're not winning this one. Give me the Cougars. Now, 18.5. They got elevation. I know West Virginia's got a little elevation too, but this is a little different animal in Utah. It's not your 5,000 feet elevation, 4,000 feet elevation that you see in the apps. This is going to be more like 8,000. Oh, maybe not that, but it'll definitely be 5,000 plus. But there's definitely some peaks there that are 5 digits there in Utah. So give me the Cougs with the elevation, the long trip. BYU's way better than anybody that West Virginia's faced this year. They got crapped on by Kansas already, and Kansas isn't as good as BYU. I don't think West Virginia is going to score in this game. If they do, it's like 7. I think this is a smash spot. I think you're looking at like a 35-10 game, 35-7, 31-7, something like that. Give me BYU all day on that. That's a best bet for sure. I am not touching Baylor or Kansas State. I'm waiting to see if Kansas State figures things out. They were supposed to be a lot better than they have been this year. They still got time, but I'm going to give them one more game to see what they got before I touch their games again because, I mean, it's weird to see teams with such high expectations come in the season and then go down a cliff. So I'm staying away from that. Illinois-Purdue, small rivalry here. Battle for the, the Purdue Cannon. I don't know why it's the Purdue Cannon instead of the Illinois Cannon. Illinois is a better team here. But I'm not sure that they win this by 10. Because doesn't Illinois have Ohio State on deck? Somebody's got Ohio State on deck, I think. Let's find out. Does Illinois got Ohio State on deck? I think they do. So it's a little look-ahead spot. They do. It's a tough spot for Illinois there. And Purdue, I don't think they have a look-ahead spot. So let's see if they do. They got Minnesota. Yeah, they're going to put more focus into this for sure. I would not be surprised if Purdue covered this game. Illinois is better. They're going to win. But I don't know if I would take them on the point spread. I would probably make a moneyline parlay and slap Illinois in there somewhere. I'm not touching that spread. If it was 7, then I probably would take Illinois. But the look ahead, the spot, man, I don't know about it. I just can't. Iowa State, Cincinnati, the stinkiest and fishiest line of the week. I don't know why Cincinnati's favored here. And somebody knows something. I do know Iowa State has 3 defensive backs injured, and they're on their 3rd-string kicker who happens to be a walk-on. That's a problem, especially for them. When they're not a high-scoring team, they're a defensive team. You need to have good kickers. 3rd-string kicker, not so good. And Cincinnati's playing at home. They're not bad. I think they just beat Kansas last week. I'm leaning towards Kansas here, or Cincinnati here. I'm leaning towards Cincinnati. I think it's going to be close. Maybe a field goal win. That's where I would be here. I don't know if I'm going to bet it, but I would lean with Cincinnati because this line stinks, and usually when it stinks, there's a reason for it. Georgia hasn't covered a game all season long, and maybe this is the first one they finally do because Kentucky's not very good. They will probably not win more than 2 SEC games this year. I think the under is a play here. Almost always when these two play each year, the under hits. It seems like it's always like 7-20 or something low scoring. So my play here would be on the under 48.5. But I mean, this could be the game where Georgia's offense finally puts together a lot of points and they get like 40 points or so. But I don't see it. Usually Kentucky plays decent enough defense to let things get away from them, but I don't see Kentucky scoring very much here. So I'd be on the under here. Michigan, Wisconsin, another rivalry here. What do they play for? Is it like a jug? Some sort of little jug that they play for. I think the under would be a good play here as well. Two good defenses, rivalry. Wisconsin can't score. I don't even know if their quarterback. I think O'Neal has been practicing this week. I think Michigan should be able to cover this number too. The rivalry aspect does scare me a little bit, and they are at home. We'll see how. I mean, I feel like this could be like a 7-24. Like, I think this number is spot on. It's very well priced, so you're not getting a lot of value here. But I would definitely be on Michigan or the under if I were to play, and I might come Saturday. I might. All right, first leg of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy, Navy and Air Force. Navy is far better team here, but we've seen lots of strange things happen over the years when the academies get together. As we saw last year, Navy beat Army. Army didn't lose that game. Maybe they sneak into the playoff, maybe. But, yeah, we'll see what happens this year. I do think Navy's the best of the three this year. Usually you would go under. It's almost un-American to bet the over in the academy games. I'm not touching this point spread this year because I do think both these teams can score. And Air Force's defense is really bad. So I think Navy's going to have a field day scoring. But generally you go under because both teams run the rock. So the clock is moving the entire game. It's really risky to take an over when these two schools meet. So it is a very high total this year at 52.5, and I think that's partially because Navy is a pretty good scoring team this year, and Air Force is not a good defensive team. They're a decent offensive team, but terrible on defense. So I don't know. I'm staying away from the total this year. I would like Navy at 10 instead of 12.5. I don't think we can do any better over here. So I don't know if I'm going to get any action in on this game, unfortunately. I probably would take the under, though. Just because it's un-American, it's a system play. You just can't take an over an academy game. You just can't. So I will probably lean towards that once again. I mean, it's like, what, seven overs in the last, 20 years or something like that? I mean, it's pretty bad record. The last, 50 times any academies got together, it's only, 10 overs or less. It's a pretty low ratio. I'm not touching Clemson the rest of the year. They have yet to cover any games, but North Carolina is not very good. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Belichick did pull this off? I like taking double-digit home dogs, but I'm not going to take this game. I'm not going to pick Clemson because they haven't covered yet, so I'm just staying away completely. UAB's defense is really bad, but Army, I can't figure them out. I can't figure them out this year, so I tend to not bet teams I can't figure out. I like Wake Forest here. Virginia Tech's a mess. I hate to say it. I like Virginia Tech. I want to go to one of their games this year. I'm not like a fan or anything, but I like their atmosphere. But it's just not their year. And Wake Forest didn't they just almost pull off an upset over Georgia Tech? Might be a little bit of a emotional hangover here in the first half, but part of me thinks Wake Forest keeps this close. I would have liked this at 7. I would have liked that a lot better, but I still would be on the Demon Deacons here. That'd be Western Michigan or pass. Don't take Oklahoma State for the rest of the year. I like the Huskies here. I mean, Maryland does this every year. They go 4 or 5-0, and then they just fall off a cliff. I see that happening again this year. They always schedule cupcakes at the beginning of the year. They get undefeated, and then they lose the rest of their games. So we'll see if that stays true this year. I do like their quarterback, but defense travels, and Washington has a good defense. So I know they'll be a little banged up from Ohio State last week, but Ohio State's a lot different competition than Maryland. So I'm on the Huskies here. I don't know why Syracuse is getting 17.5, even with the backup quarterback. I don't think Syracuse is that bad. They were kind of in the game with Tennessee, and they beat Clemson. They're not bad. SMU hasn't proved anything to me this year, so I would be on Syracuse just to stay within the number here. Lose by 14, lose by 10. I'm not sure why that's such a big number. I know the backup quarterback situation, but come on. Yeah, I mean, you got to take Miami, Ohio here. Northern Illinois can't score. You really low total here, and for good reason. I don't know if the Huskies get more than 10 points here. Maybe 14. So you're looking at like a 20-14 game. I could see that happening. I mean, you got to take the Red Hawks here. That almost made the best bet board. Almost. Another fishy line here. Why is Northwestern, a Big Ten school, only favored by 11.5 to UL Monroe? And they're at home. I know it's a small stadium, but they still got to travel up there and deal with the wind right on the water. UL Monroe, didn't they lose by 73 to Alabama? I mean, come on. I know Northwestern is in Alabama, but Big Ten school, you got to be on Wildcats here. I think they cover that number and win by 14, maybe 17. Can we get a better number here? I kind of want to take the Chippewas. We can't get... Okay, so this used to be 6.5. I mean, who is Akron to be underdog by only 7.5 against anybody? I mean, I'm on Central Michigan here. There's no reason to explain that. I like this Virginia team. I mean, they beat Florida State. There's going to be a mini hangover probably in this game, maybe in the first half. So maybe you go Louisville first half, but Virginia second half. For some reason, I think Virginia covers this game. They could win this game outright. It wouldn't be a bad little money line sprinkle. $5 on Louisville to win the game. You would get $14 back with that. Right, moving on here. Boise State rarely doesn't cover a huge spread. But I feel like Notre Dame's kind of on a mission right now. They kind of have to blast everybody. And if Boise State gets creamed by South Florida, what do you think is going to happen at Notre Dame? This is Boise State's Super Bowl. They have to win this to try to get into the playoff. If they win their conference, this is a must win. So keep that in mind. But I feel like Notre Dame, I just don't think this is the same Boise State team as last year. They don't have Gene T. They got the same QB, but just something's off. I think it's their defense too, really. So I see Notre Dame winning this like by 23, 21. You don't get a lot of value here, but I think Notre Dame does cover this. Penn State hasn't covered a game all year. UCLA's only covered one. So something has to give here. UCLA is really bad, but they have played a little more motivated since firing their coach, which is odd. But sometimes it happens with teams. Penn State's going to have a mini hangover from the emotional loss to Oregon last week. So expect close game potentially in the first quarter, yeah. Maybe even the first half. You might lean UCLA first quarter here. I don't know. That's on the road following a tough situation there with Penn State. They're either going to smash a UCLA or they are going to just barely get by and want to get out of there. So one of those two situations is going to happen. But for the sake of the show, I'm not picking that game. I like Vanderbilt here. I heard there's going to be a rant happening. I'm here for it. How are we doing, Tina? Yeah. Once I fire up Speedstorm, I will 100% do that. I'm on Vanderbilt here. I know Alabama circled this the whole year. They want Vanderbilt back after what they did to them last year. But Alabama also has Tennessee coming up next. They also might have a mini hangover from the Georgia win. Does Bama play anybody? Hold on a second. I don't know. Does Bama have anybody after? They do. They have Missouri. And then Tennessee. Man, that's a tough stretch. Okay. I like it even more now. I think Vanderbilt's going to keep this close. I'd get in on this 10.5 before it gets too crazy. Because 9.5 is not even close to same value as 10.5. Because now you can get touchdown and field goal. Who knows? Vanderbilt could win this game. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad little small $3 money line sprinkle to come away with $12.45. Wouldn't be bad. I mean, I might do it myself. Vanderbilt has covered every single game this year, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're undefeated. I know for one thing, they have the biggest cover margin on the year. So I am on the Commodores to just keep it within the number against Bama. I like the Longhorns here. Florida, I mean, I don't know if they can score enough to win this game. This will be a small scare for Texas, though, especially since they have Oklahoma up next. This is a look-ahead spot for Texas. But I think Sarkisian's going to keep them focused here because they can't afford another slip-up with that schedule. I like the under even more, though. I think the Sharp's been hammering the under here, and it makes sense. I'm not sure Florida gets more than 7 or 10 points here. So let's say Florida gets 10. I mean, you're looking at a 17-10 game. That's way under. This is going to be old smash mouth football right here. So I like the under. I almost should put that on the best bet board, but it's not there. So under in Longhorns. All right. This would be James Madison or pass. They've covered every game this year, and Georgia State hasn't covered anything. How we doing, Risa? Tony, how we doing? Oklahoma, backup quarterback situation, but it's Kent State. Kent State might be the worst team in America. You got to take Oklahoma here. You maybe even look at like a Kent State team total under. What's their team total under? If it's like 7, you got to take it. Let's see. It's probably is. Oh, jeez. 2.5. So basically 0. You have to get a 0 or a safety. You're not going to get the safety. Never mind. Oh, man. They're just telling you what's going to happen there. Yeah, I don't like that anymore. Just in case there's a weird pick 6 that happens. So I would just stay with Oklahoma there. That's really surprising that it's that low. I mean, I get it. Oklahoma's defense is outstanding. Where are we? There we are. I'd probably lean under with Michigan State, Nebraska. 2 good defenses for the most part. A lot of points to lay for Nebraska. I'm not touching spread. Probably would lean Texas State, but I'm not betting that. Wyoming's a tough place to play. It gets really cold. It's really windy, but UNLV is a far better team, so I'd be on UNLV there. I mean, all they got to do is win by 4. That's not much to ask for. All right, here's another best bet of the week. We've been on a little pause there from best bets, so let's play that music. Yeah, you might know this is Texas Tech's Fight Raiders Fight song. That's because that's what they're going to do. They got that oil money up in Lubbock. They got really good NIL money up there, all the oil companies. They bought a roster that's really good, and Houston's having a good season, but you're trying to tell me Texas Tech goes to Utah and blasts them by more than this spread, and Houston's going to keep it closer? No, that's not going to happen. Houston might play good defense, but they're not going to score much, and they cannot keep up on offense with Texas Tech, who scores damn near every time they have the ball. So this is an easy play for me. Texas Tech all day. Yeah, so that is another best bet of the week, 100%. If you can get a 10.5, even better. If you want to buy down 9.5, even better. But I don't care. Give me the 11.5. I'll take it. Anything under 14, really. A lot of points for TCU to lay against Colorado. I mean, Colorado's been at least staying in the games. And TCU probably a little banged up from the iron skillet. And a tough loss against Arizona State. TCU's going to win the game, but I don't know. It's a lot of points. I'm going to have to do some research on that one. I don't get it. Yeah, it's a no bet either. I don't have a lean there. Here's another best bet of the day, though, that I do have. Let's play that music. Give me the Jayhawks. UCF's got some things to figure out. Scott Frost will figure it out. Give him a year. He'll find some bodies in the offseason, but right now, it's not there yet. Kansas got a good team. Jaden Daniels at quarterback. He's a pro. I don't see any pros in the skill positions at UCF. I think it's a better line at Kansas as well. So I'm all over the Kansas Jayhawks here. I know the bounce house is tough, especially at night. They'll be jumping. But, I mean, you got to take the better team here. All you got to do is win by a touchdown. Really, it's 5 points. But, yeah, they're going to win by a touchdown more. So, give me the Jayhawks. Minnesota, Ohio State. Ohio State's got Illinois up next. Minnesota's got Purdue. Easier game. So Minnesota's going to put more into this than next week. I don't know. I feel like I don't think Minnesota's going to score. I mean, what's the team total under for that? Minnesota's offense isn't that great. It's 9.5. I kind of wish this was 10.5. I mean, I still kind of like it, though. I feel like Minnesota doesn't get past 7. So you might look at the team total under 9.5 with Minnesota there. Ohio State's defense is really good. I mean, they held Washington to 6. They held Texas to 7. Hardly anybody scored on Ohio State's defense. So I kind of like the team total under there with Minnesota. But I do think if I were to pick a side, it's Ohio State or pass. Just a better team. I think it's pretty well priced, though. I think they barely, I mean, we're talking maybe win by 24. So be careful. I mean, get it at 23.5 if you're going to do it. Okay, so at the beginning of the week, this was at 6.5, and I was kind of liking Florida State. Just to keep it close, I feel like it comes down to a field goal. This is Carson Beck's first road game this year. It's Miami's first road game this year. They haven't been away yet. And Florida State's atmosphere is going to be lit. They can't afford to lose anymore. In the ACC, you kind of need to only have one loss, 2 at most. You're not getting in. So this is a huge game for Florida State, probably the biggest of the year for them. because I think they're going to beat Florida. I don't think they're too worried about them. And they don't really have too many more tests in the ACC schedule. So this is their Super Bowl, if you will. And Miami they just kind of want to dominate the state. Mario Cristobal wants to own the state of Florida. How about them Tigers? Dude, they looking good, Kamikaze Mad Max. I'm here just listening, playing some Overwatch. So much not replay right away. Hey, you're good, Tina. But I'm waiting for this to get to 4 or 3. And then I'm going to slam the Hurricanes because I feel like they win by 3. 4, maybe. But 4.5, can't get me yet. You can't get me on that one yet. I'm going to wait it out, see what we get on Saturday morning. Maybe Saturday afternoon. But early on, I was like, yeah, give me the plus 6.5 Florida State. But now things are trending the other way. I might take the Canes if we get 3. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, take Memphis here. Tulsa's bad. Memphis has yet to not cover this year. They're 5-0 against the spread. And I don't think the odds makers have quite caught up yet. So I would take the Tigers. Yeah, I'm staying away from that. California blew me the other week, and Duke hasn't looked that great. So long trip. If this gets a 7, I'd be all over Tulane here. East Carolina's not too bad, but Tulane's been pretty good this year. Better than expected. I mean, they weren't expected to be bad. Oh, that's next week. I think that's next week. Never mind. We'll save that for next week. Well, there you go, chat. There's the best bets. You guys be responsible. There's our ATS record on the year, 50-31. You can't find that anywhere else on YouTube. And here's our best plays for the week. We got Texas Tech, San Diego State, Kansas, and BYU. All 4 favorites this week. Although I almost added Vanderbilt up there. So you guys have fun out there. We're going to swap to